Hello and welcome back to another edition of Chill with Kaiju Kim. I'm Kaiju Kim. Hope you're all doing well on this lovely Sunday afternoon, evening, whatever time it is for you. So tonight I have a very special guest. He is the owner of this Twitter account you see right here. I'm sure if you're on Twitter that you've seen it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this guy. Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. How's your day going so far?
Hot.
Yeah, it's like 93 degrees, right?
Yeah, I feel like that melting clock painting. It's just horrible. Horrible.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm doing good.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Let's see who we have in the chat. We have Zilla Punk. How's it going? Thanks for dropping in. And Vapor Dreams. Hello. Welcome. All right. So, first and foremost, who the heck are you and what do you do?
It's like kindergarten cop. What is your name?
What is your name? What is your favorite color?
What is your favorite color? What does your dad? What does he do? Right now, you call me G. And I'm a very private person in general.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that like they're like, are you gonna say your name? I'm like, no, we'll just keep it simple. Right now, I'm a guy who just loves Godzilla, as much as the next person. The thing I do on Twitter, that was just like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I wouldn't even thought about doing it because I'm like, I hate social media. What's the point of it? Everyone knows your business,
Mm-hmm.
And something caught my eye. It was this thing called the Bronx Zoo Cobra. And I don't know if you remember, about 10 years ago, a cobra from the Bronx Zoo escaped.
I did not.
Yeah, a very dangerous cobra escaped from the Bronx Zoo.
Oh, no.
And somebody had made a Twitter account based on him. And within like less than a week or a month or something, he had over 1 million followers.
What?
1 million, like that. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Are we that bored as a society? So
apparently we are.
Yeah, we are. And I learned that a lot by dipping my toe into that, and I started looking on Twitter. And my girlfriend, my wife was my girlfriend at the time. She's like, I thought you didn't like social media. So I was like, look, I don't think the reason I don't like it is because I don't think I'm an interesting person in general. And I always think I'm like, I'm just another dude. I'm boring. Who wants to listen to what I have to say? So she's like, what would you going to do? And I'm like, I would just do something, be a character or something. And like, who would it be? And I'm like, who would be the most interesting person that would be the most unlikely to be on Twitter? And I have a Godzilla figure, and it was staring at me, and I'm like, yeah, that'll do. That'll do.
That'll do it.
You got it. And I honestly, I never thought I would have as many followers. Yeah, a few of them are bots or whatever, but 12,000, 10,000. When I broke 10,000 followers, like I was happy with like 5, 10, even 100. But when it started to climb and climb and climb, I'm like, am I onto something? Who am I that? I'm more interesting on Twitter than I am in my own real life.
Same here.
This is horrible. This is absolutely the worst.
I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that, being more popular on social media than in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it just I don't know what it is. It's like I just turned it into something that, my own thing, that my own kind of like, it's kind of like create a Godzilla, create a kaiju. And I'm like, I just, made this character that he's a king. And because sometimes people like, oh, I don't want, you're supposed to be the funny guy. You don't have to talk about politics and stuff. But I'm like, as a king, that's automatically goes into politics. So, I feel like sometimes I have to kind of voice my opinion on certain things and just say how I feel. Not like jam it down your throat, but just kind of make light of it, so to speak. And, have fun with it, because some people I've noticed take Godzilla very seriously.
A little too seriously. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, a little too seriously. But then I'm like, this is the same character that I think it was it Zone Fighter? I forgot what it was, where he has a door to his cave.
Yeah, that was Zone Fighter.
You take this seriously? But I can't, whatever, dude.
I can't. We'll get to the fandom later. Trust me.
Yeah. Oh, I really hope we do.
Oh boy. Oh, good Lord. But yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So you have approximately 12,600 followers that you've accumulated over the past 10 years. That's amazing.
King of the Twitter monsters.
Yes, king of the Twitter monsters. So what are some of your favorite fan interactions?
My favorites are the ones who get it. The ones who understand that this is just for laughs, that this is just for entertainment purposes, that are in on the joke, so to speak, and interacting with them. Those are my favorites. Those are the ones that I enjoy the most. The ones that kind of like I don't really respond to are the ones who take it way too seriously. But the ones who I love, the ones who, or even the ones that are just, hey, how's it going? To just say hi or whatever, right? But the ones who understand where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do, those are my favorites. I mean, I respond to everyone usually, just in general, if they're respectful and nice. But my favorites are those are my favorites. The ones who understand what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, and so am I correct in assuming your least favorites are the ones who take it too seriously?
Oh God. Okay. When King of the Monsters came out in theaters, I went and saw it, and when I did, the scene where Mothra climbs on Godzilla in Boston, and they just kind of look at each other, they have this moment. I looked at it and I'm like, I got a bad feeling about this. This will not end well on my Twitter feed. And for an entire, I'd say about close to a month, I was just spammed, bombed, and just wrecked with Mothzilla art, Mothzilla, you name it, it was there. And I mean, honestly, it was the first time it got to the point where it was the first time I felt like I don't want to do this anymore, because people were sending me on my timeline just like, I'm like, haha, I'm trying to make light of it, but people were like real hardcore and just would not let it go. And I'm like, this is not that serious, guys. It's but it just got so frustrating that I'm like, please go away. All of you just go away. And after a while it stopped, but for like a minute, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. It really took the fun out of it for a while. And I don't know if they were just being trollish or they were serious, because when it comes to fandoms, I don't dive that deep into with the people. I try to get to know people, but at the same time, I keep my distance. It's just kind of like the way I am. And one thing I've noticed is the people who are the diehards, the ones who just take this way too seriously, those are the ones that I'm like, man, I need to get away from you. Because you just it's fun. It's meant to be a form of entertainment, not to sit up there and stab anyone who disagrees with you.
Yeah. Again, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So oh, you know what? I forgot to ask you a very important question. Before we started, you were telling me you had a very funny story as to how you got into Godzilla. So
okay,
how did you get into Godzilla?
When I was a kid, I've always heard of Godzilla. For some reason, I've never had a chance to really see it because they would show movies on TV. I would miss it, or I would catch the tail end, or the first time I saw a Godzilla movie from beginning to end was on a Spanish station, and it was dubbed in Spanish. And my parents at the time would walk by and be like, "What?" And they would come in and watch. I'm like, "What are you watching?" And they're like, "What?" And they're like, "Let me get this straight. You're watching a Godzilla movie made in Japan that's dubbed over in Spanish. So the Japanese people are speaking Spanish." I'm like, "Yeah." And that was my first. And it's just like, when you look at it, it makes absolutely zero sense because where people are used to speak, dubbed in English. In Spanish, Japanese people speaking nothing but Spanish for an entire hour and a half. I believe it was the first Mega Godzilla movie. And it was just so hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious because my parents are just looking at me like, "Really?" And they're looking at the TV and they're looking like, "Really?" You too?
What is this?
Well, yeah, like literally, like, what is this? Spanish, the Japanese speaking. It was just hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. Then came, I don't know if you remember this, but Thanksgiving they would show a Godzilla marathon on TV, and they would show like 3, 4, 5 Godzilla movies back to back on Thanksgiving weekend. And that's when that first Thanksgiving after that I managed to catch that, and that from there I've been hooked ever since.
Nice. All right. So, all right, I may be opening up a can of worms here, but here goes. What is your opinion of the Godzilla fandom as a whole?
I think on the whole, it's always been, to me, these fandoms. It's the same thing because I'm a part of a few fandoms. I enjoy not just Godzilla but other things, Doctor Who, and all that other stuff. I find the fandoms to be, at least when I go to conventions, very respectful, very nice, and very understanding. The internet is a completely different ball field, where it's literally almost like a small amount of people will just crap on anything and anyone's opinion. And that's the problem we face as a fandom, no matter what it is. But and lately, the Godzilla fandom has been kind of like, for a while, it's just been kind of like the same way, where it's like, why are we fighting? It's not that serious,
Really?
Yes, it's okay to have a favorite movie, and someone's favorite movie. It's like the old saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean someone else won't. I've heard stories of people saying that their favorite movie is Godzilla's Revenge, or Son of Godzilla, excuse me. And that's fine. You're entitled to that. And also another thing we need to start doing as a fandom is we need to own what people think are the bad ones, like those two movies. There are people who don't like Final Wars. And Godzilla '98 even. I think it's time to just let it go and for us to just embrace these things and own them. Like, okay, yeah, you might not like it, but they're ours. We own these things. You know, they're a part of our of what got us here and how long we've been watching. They're part of the history. And I think the time has come to just let that go as a fandom. That the hatred for Godzilla '98 or whatever it is, negative feelings that, you know, like, hey, look, I don't like it, but it's there. It's part of the fandom. It's part of the history. It's part of the lore. You know, just own up to it. You know, like, okay, yeah, no problem. You know, every other fandom does the same. You know, they have the same thing where it's like people just gatekeep, bitch, and moan about, complain about every little thing. And in the end of the day, it's still there, no matter whether you like it or not. You know, so just embrace it. You know, you don't have to fully like, oh, this is the greatest. You know, it's okay to say, hey, you know, Godzilla's Revenge is not my cup of tea, but it's there. It's part of the fandom, and I accept it. And, you know, nothing I can do about it. Complaining about it isn't going to make it go away.
Yeah, it really isn't. Yeah. Yeah, this goes with any fandom, but you know, people often forget that it's okay to have different opinions. And
Oh, absolutely.
that doesn't make you better or worse than anyone else, you know? You're entitled to your opinion and other people are entitled to their opinion.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
That's perfectly fine. You know, I don't see a bad Godzilla movie. I just see a movie that's like, okay, they wanted to do something different. Let's take Godzilla '98, and Sony and what they were trying to do. They were trying something different. They were trying to do something different, and you know, I guess at the end of the day, they looked at themselves like, well, we tried. You know, it made a lot of money in theaters, but man, that backlash. If that movie had come out in this day and age, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, no, no,
Oh
no,
no.
no, bad. We like, you know, that's why. But it's like, I think the time has come. It's coming on 20. What is it? 20 something years, almost 25 years. That movie has been out. It's time to let it go.
It really is.
It really is time to let go of the hatred and just be like, okay, bring it in. It's okay.
Yeah,
We're
right.
sorry. You know, welcome to the club. You know, you're allowed back in. But the fandom just, you know, there's going to be that little group of people that's like, no, he's not allowed in. You know, and it's just like
The gatekeepers.
the gatekeepers. They're like, no, we can't have that. You know, and it just like, who cares? You know, it's not that serious.
It really is not.
It's not like, I can like, if it's on TV, I'll sit and watch it. If it comes on randomly, I'll sit and watch it. You know, but when it comes down to it, it's like, at the end of the day, it's still just a movie. Is it the best? No. Is it the worst? You know, that's up for debate. But like I said, I don't really. I just see it. I see Godzilla '98 as just of somebody's, you know, fanfic or something like that. Like, this is how they would do it.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's basically what it is. All right. From David Brown. Hi, David. How's it going? Do you think Zilla would get a chance to be in the world of Godzilla cinematic universe or maybe the Monsterverse?
I would like to see that as like a clone type of Godzilla. I think that's the only way they can do that. It's not like another magical beast is just going to show up that just kind of looks like a slimmed down version of him. I think the best way they can do it, since Godzilla's DNA and blood and everything is everywhere, I don't see why they can't try to make a clone of him and just have him run free or something. As I like to say, science gone wrong in a movie, in a Godzilla movie. What are the odds?
Oh, how? What are the odds of that happening? That's never happened before.
No. What are the odds? I never saw this coming. But when it comes down to it, I think that would be a good way to do it. I think they, they try to make clones before they fail. They finally succeed, and something like that. That I can see. That's exactly how I would probably do it. Just make it a clone.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. That'll be good. Real quick, just want to say hi to my twin, Donnie Winter. I love you. I love everybody here. Thank you guys for coming. Hi, Laura Fitkin. Dream Kaiju movie. What is your dream Kaiju movie?
I would like to see a Digimon remake.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was when I did G Fest, my very first panel was a Digimon panel, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I need to catch up on this real fast. And I was absolutely blown away on the special effects of that movie. I saw all three in like the span of a few days, and I was blown away about how great that movie was. The special effects, the story, everything was just done really well. And I'm like, I know they did another version, I think in the 90s. Was it? I don't remember. But I would love to see a modern day remake of Digimon. Just a big statue sitting in the middle of the forest, and only comes out when things happen, But that's something I would like to see.
Awesome. All right, from David Brown. Since the King of the Monsters novelization brought up Ghidorah, older sibling, do you think we'll see him or her in the Monsterverse? Possibly.
Maybe. Anything is possible. I don't think they're going to dwell that deep into it. I think if they're going to keep going with this Legendary, I think they're going to keep it to the basics and keep it as simple as possible, because not everyone will have read the books. I mean, it's a good way to get people to read the books, but the casual fan is going to be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
What is all this? And it may turn some people off and turn them away. I mean, I personally wouldn't make that. I wouldn't go that way, because I think there's enough from Toho that they have yet to even pull out of their hat to use. Like people say, like, oh, there's no Gigan, Megalon, and the rest of them. Some people are still waiting for a Monsterverse Jet Jaguar. So. But as far as like a sibling for that, I think that like the hardcore people who read the books and do all that stuff, for them that'll be good. But that's a very small percentage of the overall fan base. And like I said, I think the casual fan who knows not too much about Godzilla, very little, I think they might be turned off by that and be like, well, wait, what? These monsters have brothers and sisters? What's going on here? So I'm afraid it might turn some of them away. So I would just keep it simple.
Yeah, simple is sometimes the better way to go. Yeah, I haven't read the novelizations of any of the films, so I don't know how I would feel about that.
Yeah. Neither have I. So I just found out about this just now, and I'm like, wait, what? It's legit? That really is a thing? Okay.
Like, oh, well, all right then. Learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it, but I never really got like confirmation. I'm like, really?
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you say so. All right, so what's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Oof.
Don't worry, we have all night.
I'm gonna go with the very first one I saw in English, which is versus Megalon.
Oh, I love that one.
Versus Megalon. The very first one I saw in English, and it was part of that the Thanksgiving marathon when I was a kid. I think that one was just it's the old saying, the first one, no matter how good or whatever, however it was, it holds a special place in everyone's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my first Godzilla movie, and it holds a very special place in my heart. With that, I didn't know that they kept making Godzilla movies into like the 90s and stuff. And I kind of like fell off with Godzilla for a while. And I met a friend of mine, Ira, who got me back into Godzilla. And he was like, "You got to see this movie, man." And he's like, "They kept making movies." I'm like, "No, you're lying." And he's like, "Here, look, I guarantee this one will change your life." I'm like, "Which one is it?" "It's versus the monster, Destroyer." And I'm like, "Destroyer? Stupid name is that?" So he lent me the DVD, and I literally, I needed therapy after that movie.
So did I.
I was a mess.
Oh my god, that is the only Godzilla movie to ever make me cry.
Yeah, it is. It is, and I said this at G Fest. Whenever I bring it up, that is the only Godzilla movie, to ever make me legitimately just shed a tear.
I was sobbing when I first saw that.
It was just, and I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, what's going on here? And I'm calling during the movie. I'm like, why did you do this to me? What is going on?
What have you done?
What have you done to me?
Why have you done this? What did I do to you? What did I do to deserve this?
Yeah, and the thing is, I count that as such an important move, perhaps one of the most important Godzilla movies, because imagine being him for a minute, going through all those issues he was having, exploding here and there, you're slowly dying, your kid, you don't know where the hell he is, and you got this giant devil monster flying around, and you got the military shooting you for no reason, and you can't express yourself. And it is, you just do what comes naturally and this is what he was doing. And I'm like, man, it's gotta suck to be him.
Yeah.
It is the one time I'm like, I don't want to be him. And he's going through so much at the same time. And then he, like, when he started to melt, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, this is the wow. It, like, that's why whenever I do on Twitter and somebody brings it up, I immediately, like, I have him turn into a ball and suck his thumb and like rock in a corner somewhere. But when it came down to that movie really just like, whoa. And I hit him with the DVD. I'm like, why'd you do this to me? When I gave it back to them, like, I don't like you anymore. But he's like, but did you enjoy it? And I'm like, yes, thank you very much.
It was wonderful. Don't ever make me do that again.
Yes, it was wonderful. I look forward to seeing more. You suck.
From David Brown, name your favorite Toho kaiju that isn't Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah, Mechagodzilla, or Anguirus.
Toho kaiju that isn't the big five? Okay.
Yeah. Mine's Biollante.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Orga.
Orga's cool.
Orga. There was no real absolute backstory origin to him. Like, it's just a flying ship that just kind of like crash landed, and it's just, it's something completely different. And they one thing Toho has is this insect fetish. I've noticed that they have all sorts of different insects, but in this case with Orga was something completely different and completely off the wall, and just when you really look at it, it was just kind of bonkers in a way. It's like it's just this giant spaceship, and then it cut off, and then it made another monster, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is kind of cool, not bad, you know. Especially when they try to eat him, swallow him. And if I'm gonna give second place to Space Godzilla, because it is absolutely hilarious the way he looks. I love his look, and I think he's just it just grabs. For some reason, I gravitate to Space Godzilla. It's funny, it's serious, it's a lot of things in one little package for me. And he's a bit of a schmuck too for the things he's done in the movie, but
Yeah.
I really do like Space Godzilla. It's like this crystallized, flying, holy crap, But other than that, I'm gonna give it to Orga because it's something completely different, and it really is just, he legitimately beat Godzilla. I think, or was it a draw? Yeah, but I know they kind of knocked each other out, and not many monsters can do that.
That is true.
But overall, I'm giving that spot to Orga.
Awesome. My girl Laura says Godzilla 2000 is in my top 3. It's my number 1 favorite.
Yes, Godzilla 2000 was pretty good. I don't know if you remember, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't the commercials here played with Rob Zombie Super Beast?
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. That's the part that made me go to see it. I'm like, do I really want to see this? Then it's like Rob Zombie Super Beast. I'm like, oh, you got me. I'm going. Because I love Rob Zombie, and the minute I heard it play with the commercial, I'm like, all right, you got me to go. Calm down.
Yeah, like, all right, take my money.
You already got my money. Bring it down. But I don't see too many Godzilla movies in theaters. That was the first Toho Godzilla movie I seen in theaters.
Same here. It was the best. I was 9 years old when I saw that movie for the first time on the big screen.
Yeah, I definitely. I don't want to say how old I was because then I'll age myself and it just remind me where I am now.
Well, you're no older than 25. Stop it.
I wish. Sorry about that.
All right. Good question here from David. Do you prefer Godzilla as a hero, villain, anti-hero, or force of nature?
Force of nature.
Yeah.
Absolute force of nature. It's cute when he saves the world from the bad guys. It's cute and all, and it makes for a good movie. But then that's like I do that Will Smith meme, and I like Godzilla 54, 1954, the original Godzilla, where he just, I'm gonna do this because I can. You can't stop me.
Yeah.
No, that's the Godzilla I like, where it's just like I'm just gonna wander around the earth. I'm gonna just wander around, and good luck stopping me. Not trying to bring balance. He's not trying to. He's there to remind you every once in a while that I'm here. You cannot stop me. Good luck. Good luck living with me. He is literally the noisy neighbor you cannot get rid of. And that's when I like him, when he is peak. He's at that point where it's hard to pick a movie where he's like that. That's why I always go back to Godzilla 54, even Godzilla 56, where he's just kind of like a jerk, like I'm just gonna wander around and you're in my way. Oh well. But that force of nature, Godzilla, I'm just here, and not even just to try to throw it out of bounds, just to remind you, like, I'm here and you can't stop me. It sends a powerful message.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I'm torn between. I do like the force of nature Godzilla too, but I also like silly, wholesome hero Godzilla.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I still like uh my silliness in my Godzilla. That makes me laugh, or that makes me cheer for him. Like sliding drop kick, or trying to be a parent, or just trying to do day to day things with his child, as any good parent would do. And that's all well and good, but at the end of everything, when you go back to what he was, people's like, that's what I remember him most. It's like, because when I first saw that the original Godzilla, it just was chilling. It was just so woof, and you don't forget that feeling,
Yeah.
and that's something I wish I can go back and experience again, watching that movie for the first time. Even the 1956 version, the American version, there's still, as I don't know what to call that movie. I think it's good, but I can see what they were trying to do. I feel like those two movies are the same, are the two sides of the same coin, told by two different points of view. And it just, the 54 was just, chilling, just watching him leave this trail of destruction for no reason, none, because he can, and you can't stop him. People say, "Oh, I wish Godzilla would exist in real life." No, you don't.
No.
Go watch that movie, and then come back to me and let me know if you change your mind, and you probably will.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Get off my island!" like Vitora and Goji says.
That's what I would be. I'd be like, "Get out, shoo, go away."
Like, go piss off somewhere.
Go that way. Go that way.
Go on.
Yeah, but yeah, people like, I wish he was real. You don't. No, you don't.
No, not really.
We'll be dead in a year. He would wipe out humanity in about a year.
Or less.
Or less, depending on his mood.
Yeah. Oh boy. Real quick, just want to say hello to Shadow Zayas. How's it going? How dare you be late? How dare you have other things to do besides watch my stuff?
How dare you have a life?
Yeah, screw you. No, I'm joking. Thanks for coming in. All right. So, hypothetically speaking, what monster do you think would be worthy enough to take Godzilla's place as king of the monsters? Not that would ever happen, but hypothetically speaking, what do you think?
That's like asking me to pass the torch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it, Kong. Okay. I'm gonna say it, Kong, King Kong. I have no quarrels about that. I think, especially with Godzilla versus Kong, it's just, I thought their fight scenes were so good. No matter where they fought, it was so good.
It was,
and not to mention, I truly believe, without Kong, there's a chance that there might have been no Godzilla at all.
That is true.
That is up for debate. That is very much up for debate. That without Kong, there may have been no Godzilla. But with that, if I have to pick one, I'm going to give it to Kong, because the Skull Island and Godzilla versus Kong made a believer out of me. That I'm like, this guy can actually pull this off.
Yeah.
I think he can do this. And I'm like, can he be king of the monsters? Yeah, I think he could. I really think he could. I can't, it's hard to see anyone like Ghidorah. Yeah. But if I gotta pick one, I'm gonna go with Kong. I'm gonna go with King Kong without shadow of a doubt. I think he can pull it off very well, and I that's where I stand with that. Can you really see Anguirus as King of the Monsters or Rodan?
I mean, I love the Spiky Boy. I love my Spiky Boy, but I don't think he's the right guy for the job. No.
No, not the right guy for the job. And I think Kong is just as popular as Godzilla, and he's been around much longer. He just how I feel. I think that Kong is the only one that like, oh well, he's the new King of the Monsters. Fine, let me change my account now. I'll change my account.
Okay.
Fine. But I'll give it to I that's where I stand. I think he's the only one that would fit that mantle well.
Yeah, I agree. He does predate Godzilla by like almost 20 years, I think. Yeah, 1930. I can't math. Yeah, 19 years.
about 20 something years.
Yeah. And I was 100% Team Godzilla for Godzilla versus Kong, but watching that movie like 3 times, I was like, I found myself like kind of like on the fence, like, oh, who do I root for now? I want both of them to like be victorious.
I mean, going into that movie, I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't know what to expect. At one point, when they're fighting in where was it? Tokyo? That last
Hong Kong.
No, Tokyo. In Hong Kong, it looked like a Pac-Man maze. It was so bright and lit up and everything. And I'm like, man, this is going to be good. And it turned out to be better than what I thought, that movie. Because I think they learned from other Godzilla movies that it's one thing Godzilla movies have always had a problem with is human characters. And good ones. How to make good human characters that make us care about them. And with Skull Island, they had really great human characters. And I think the one that struck me the most was John C. Reilly. And I'm about to cry just thinking about it because he just wants to go home. Yeah. And he's like, you guys look more beautiful than a beer and a hot dog on opening day at Wrigley Field. And what does he do when he gets home? That's the first thing he does.
Yeah. And
it just hit when he got home, and I'm like, oh my God. And with the Godzilla movies with Legendary, I think they made okay human characters, but the most interesting and the best human character is what's her name? Gia,
yeah.
Gia. Because there's no one has ever been like her. There's in any, you have the fairy twins and all that stuff, but a 9-year-old girl whose entire tribe is wiped out, who's deaf and speaks to Kong with speaks to Kong with sign language, and this little doll, which I thought was absolutely adorable of him. And I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, ooh, that's going on eBay. She's putting that up on eBay once she figures it out. I think she's the most interesting human character, not just the MonsterVerse, but in all Godzilla movies all together, because there's no one else like her. Yeah, you have your military, you have your psychics, you have your this and your that. There's no one like her. And I think she takes the cake as the most interesting human character in all of them. And I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, well. What was the question? I'm sorry, I tend to divert.
That's okay. Who cares? Uh, all right. Hank Marlowe, loopy but tragic. Yes,
Yes.
that's accurate.
I would be too if I was stuck there for God knows how long.
Yeah. But what was he was like it was like 40 years, I think he was stuck there. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've seen the movie.
No, I think he was stuck there for about maybe it was a good while. You know, it was definitely a good while. But I think what made him good is that not only his backstory, but the fact that he was able to explain everything in a very short amount of time. And as they went along as well, made him really good because John C. Reilly, people sleep on him. That guy is a phenomenal actor. And he was probably next to Samuel L. Jackson. He was definitely the best character of that movie, best human character of that movie. You know, the rest of them were just, you know, there. They were just like Tom Hiddleston. You know, he was the same as every other male lead in every other King Kong movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, he's like, I'm just a good-looking, dashing guy who can kill everything with, you know, give me a gun.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll get you through this safely. You know, too many Marvel people in that movie, though. A lot of Marvel people.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
got
4 or 5 of them.
Loki and Captain Marvel and who else?
Nick Fury
Oh, Nick Fury, yeah, obviously.
and John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but as far as human characters, G is the best overall.
Yes. Yes, she is. I agree. All right. So I am all out of questions. So, chat, help me out here. You got any questions for Mr. G? Yes? No? Maybe? Perhaps?
Maybe
Maybe.
pick my brain. Ask me anything.
Ask him any. Freaking motorcycles. I am so glad I'm going to be moving soon so I can not live next to a highway. Every stream, without fail, every time I'm streaming or filming. Oh, good Lord. All right, so there's a bit of lag between StreamYard and YouTube, so it might take a minute for questions to pop up, but we have one here. Favorite flying kaiju?
Giant Condor.
Yeah, that's everyone's
He gets
favorite.
no respect. He gets no respect. None. Giant Condor.
He has a name. I forgot what it was. I think it's Unduku or something along those lines.
Ooh, yeah, it's like 2 O's or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just call him to what he is. I'm like, you're just a giant bird. He gets Giant Condor. Like, he gets no love, no respect. I'm giving him a little bit of a love. A little bit of love tonight. He's phenomenal at what he does, getting his ass kicked.
What? He said, what? Not Gamera? How could we leave out Gamera? Gamera needs more love too. He flies. He's a flying kaiju.
Yeah, he is. And I'm not gonna lie, I was never really interested in Gamera at all. Like, I knew who it was and I was aware of his work, and until I saw the one with Iris.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the one where he shot his own arm off.
Yeah. Oh my God, that blew my mind.
I remember I was at G-Fest. And I said, I'm going to give one of these movies a chance. And I sat there, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and I think it was the last thing they were showing. I watched it, and I was just like, did he just shoot his own arm off?
That was my reaction.
Did that just happen?
I don't know if you saw my review of that movie, that I reenacted my reaction to that part.
I got to watch that. I think I might have saw it. I got to watch it. But I saw that, and it blew my mind. And I'm like, this dude is badass. He earned my respect for that. Like, all right, he's like, I'm gonna.
Well, I'm a Gamera fan now. Look at me. Oof.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Gamera fan, but I will say I respect the hell out of him for doing that. Because that, like, would you do that? No. I guess the world's gonna lose. I guess humanity is at an end. Good run, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a good run.
Yeah.
But that just blew my mind.
Yeah. You've seen any anime, classic or recent? That reminds me of the question I wanted to ask you. Have you seen Godzilla Singular Point?
No.
Not yet.
And
Okay.
the reason is because I was turned off by, if someone can give me a decent reason to watch it, I'll watch it. But I wasn't too thrilled with the last trilogy of Godzilla anime movies. I found them.
Okay, listen to me very carefully. They're like comparing the anime trilogy to Godzilla Singular Point is like apples and oranges, in my opinion. They're completely different. Don't want to, yeah. If you did not like the anime trilogy, you will probably like Godzilla Singular Point a lot better.
What is the concept of that? Because what is that good Singular Point about?
It's a lot of techno babble, but basically, it's like these people that work at a factory who build Jet Jaguar, and then there's this like red dust stuff that's like bringing on all these kaiju. There's a bunch of Rodan and Angus. I'm very bad at explaining things off the top of my head, but there's a lot of action. There's a lot of.
Isn't Jet Jaguar the ice cream truck in that?
No,
oh, okay.
no. He looks really derpy at first, and that caused a lot of backlash. But it gets better. It's so good. We're 10, 11 episodes in. I think episode 12 comes out on Wednesday? ? It's so good. It's so good. You have to watch it. Get yourself a VPN if you don't have one already, or just wait till it comes out.
I'll find a way. I always do. But it's just that, like I said, I found the I think, what was it? The trilogy was on Netflix.
Yes.
I found that really slow. I think they stuck too much to a basic anime format story wise, where it's just like the kids are out for revenge because the bad guy killed their parents. I'm like, how many times have I seen this? And you're going after Godzilla, who is probably so freaking huge. I did see that, how huge he is in that. Didn't they give him, like, what was the name for him? Godzilla Earth?
Yeah.
Holy crap. How are you going to fight that? No, not happening.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know, it didn't appeal to me. Excuse me. It didn't appeal to me at all.
Yeah, but Singular Point is very, very different than the anime trilogy.
I'm based on you telling me that, I'm willing to give it a shot. First chance I get, when I have some free time, I'll check it out. You know, it grabs my attention because there's like, there's other monsters and it's this and that. I'm like, I don't know, man. I kind of got burned by the last one. Do I really want to go down this road again?
Yeah.
So, but you said it's completely different. It's apple and oranges. Sure.
Yeah, because like literally, it's like the anime trilogy is all like dark and slow and boring and stupid, in my opinion. And then, but Godzilla Singular Point is like bright and colorful and lots of action.
I mean, if people want to like the Netflix trilogy, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
No problem.
I mean, I'm not a fan of it, but if you like it,
not a fan.
More power to you.
I couldn't even get past the first one. Like I like halfway through. Yeah, I'm like, I can't do this. It's like, for me, it's like water torture.
Yeah, I tried. I gave them all a shot. I watched all three. I made myself watch. Like, I'm going to give this trilogy a chance, and then I'm just like, nope, this ain't it.
You are way braver than me. You are way braver. I said I got halfway through the first one, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I'm not going down any deeper this rabbit hole. But it just, I'm willing to give Singular Point a chance. You know, it's episodic. How long are each episode?
Yeah, it's like 22 minutes per episode.
It's one of those. Okay. Yeah, I'm willing to give it a chance. I'll give it a chance based on what you told me. I'm like, you know what, Kim wouldn't steer me wrong.
Yeah. Yes, my opinion is more important than everyone else's, so you should listen to me all the time, always. Thank you.
Remember that when I come to you to do my taxes.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't want you to get audited. I can barely do my own taxes. What are you talking about? All right. All right. So, have you seen any other anime? I'm personally not much into anime that much, but how about you?
I'm not deep into anime like I used to be. Um, it's just that I've gotten older, my tastes change. I do different things now. Um, some of my favorite animes were I was Yu-Gi-Oh. I loved Yu-Gi-Oh. I still do. I still watch it. I still you know try to watch it as much as I can. I know they're up to whatever they're up to these days. Um, I watched this. A friend of mine, Mike, got me into this anime. It was Battle Angel, Battle Air Angelic, I think, or something like that, where they would have small robot. They would build their own little avatars, like in robots, and they had like a mental thing at the end of a giant, like an arena type thing, and they would fight it out. And it was for 13 episodes, and it was so deep, like so well written. It was just so good that I literally, the last 2 episodes, I cried. It was that good. And it's really good, really good. Only lasted about 13 episodes, but it was really good, really, really good. Um, I used to watch Death Note. Love Death Note. A lot. That was a lot to digest. I saw the live action movies of those. Um, you know, other than that, my like I said, my taste for anime has, I respect it. I like it. I think it's an excellent art form, one of the best in the world. But I get older, and my tastes change, and right now my thing is Doctor Who and Godzilla and stuff like that. I don't know if you watch Doctor Who, and if you're not, you should.
Yeah, I'm not. I haven't dabbled in Doctor Who
I
yet.
think you should. I think you would like it.
Okay.
Which is the same thing I say to everyone about it.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I just haven't bothered to watch it. But maybe I will. Maybe I'll add it to my list of many things that I have to watch.
If I may, an excellent jump point is 2005 when they brought it back. It kind of had like a little. They kind of put it away for a while. They brought it back in 2005 with Christopher Eccleston, and that would be a great way to just jump into it from that point, because they knew they were going to bring it back. It was going to get old viewers, and some new. So it's like everything gets explained kind of like along the way. If you can get past the first few episodes, especially that first one, which is a little rough, you're good. You're good. Trust me. You'll be like, oh, thank God he told me to watch this.
All right, good to know. I will keep that in mind and add it to the long list of TV shows and movies that I have to watch. All right. So I think we are all out of questions for the night. So that'll wrap things up. Where can people find you besides Twitter?
They can find me right here. Right there, right here. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Right there on the Twitter machine.
Yeah, there we go.
You can also find me. I have a Twitch channel, The King of Kaiju. That's my Twitch channel, and I stream whenever I can or whenever the mood strikes me. Other than that, I pretty much keep a very low. Wise man once said, "The bigger you become, the bigger target you become." And I pretty much keep it low profile as far as, like, in my 10 years of doing this on Twitter. Like I told you, this is the first time I've ever decided to just kind of like, yeah, I'll put myself out there like this. And but yeah, I keep a low profile. I keep to myself generally. But I decided like, it's been 10 years.
Yeah, I figured it's about time.
Yeah, I love what I do. If I can make at least one person laugh a day with my shenanigans, I feel like I've accomplished something.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming onto my show and doing a face reveal, I guess. This is yeah. All right. And to you watching at home, thank you very much for taking a few minutes out of your Sunday to hang out with me and my lovely guest. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I stream every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Hopefully, I will have some edited content coming out soon. I keep meaning to film. It just keeps not happening. I promise something will come soon. Okay. All right. So, thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching.